Hello everyone, welcome to another video. And in this video, we are going to continue discussion of the chapter 11, which is rational sometimes is not as good as being reasonable. And yeah, so in this video, we're going to basically continue with the last topic. Um, and we're going to discuss a few cases where uh, it it looks like the decisions that we're going to make they're irrational, but eventually we see that those decisions are actually reasonable. So it's okay to go for some reasonable approaches even though they seem a bit irrational. And one of the cases that we could talk about is to have some sort of like a sentimental value towards your investments. Let's say that you love the investments that you do, and you actually care about them. But if you ask most of the people, then they would gladly tell you that they don't have any sentimental value attached to their investments, to their stocks, or towards any companies that they invest their money in. And that kind of like gives them an edge that if things are not looking very good for that company, for that investment, then it's easier for them to actually move on from that investment. Um, and what happens in this case is like if the stock is actually not performing really well, and you don't actually like the idea or the company itself, and then those stocks actually become a liability. But then if we compare that to a person who actually likes or believes in the investment strategy or the company that he has invested his money in, then that person is a bit more um, a bit he's a bit more he's a bit more, what's the word that I'm looking for, he would be more inclined uh, towards sticking to that investment strategy. um, he would be yeah he would be more likely to stick around when things go south with that company. And and the reason that I have put forward these two cases where you actually love your investment strategy, and where you are kind of like indifferent to your investment strategy or the stocks that you invest in. So the thing is, there are very few variables when it comes to performance of your investment strategy, um, uh, that actually influence the performance. And one of those variables that actually affect the performance is your commitment to your assets, to your stocks, to your investment strategy. So we will look at an example. For example, so there is a 50-50% chance, like if you invest um, money in a market, there is a 50-50% chance that you will make money in one day. If you invest money for one day, there is a 50-50% chance that you will make money. But the chance increases to 68% if you have invested money for 1 year. So there is a higher chances of you making money, that is 68%, if you stick around long enough for 1 year. Then that percentage increases to 88% for 10 years, and then it increases to 100% over the span of 20 years. So if you have stuck around, if you have committed for 20 years, there is a 100% chance that you will end up making money. So in this example, I mean, the rational thing um, seemed like do not be emotionally attached to investments. But if you think reasonably, um, then you are more likely to make money if you actually stick to your investment strategy. So the phrase that "do what you love" actually plays a very important part when it comes to financial strategies to your investments. So you should really love what you do, or love or believe in the things that you invest in. And then we are going to move on to a few other examples where we see that where being reasonable seems like an irrational approach, but it is reasonable. So most of the people have this home bias. They only invest their money in the companies that are from their country, which actually causes them or which effectively makes them uh, out of the market for 95% of the planet. Um, and if you think about it, it seems irrational, right? Because you are letting go of 95% of the market. But the thing is, like, if you feel a bit more comfortable, if it gives you a bit more trust, and if it's a bit more trustworthy for you to invest money in the companies that you're closer to, then it seems it's a very reasonable choice to only invest in those companies that, like the companies that belong to your country, from your country. So this is another example of being reasonable. We're going to continue with another example, which is of day trading and buying individual stocks. So these two strategies, financial strategies, are not actually uh, they are not promoted to most of the investors because they're very risky and there is a high chance that you will actually end up losing a lot of money. They're not recommended. But the thing is, as long as you um, as long as you keep most of your investments in a diversified way, like for example in an index fund, and just to scratch your itch, you put a little bit of money on like day trading or individual stocks, and that small investments, if it keeps you away from messing up with your diversified investments, then that small investment in day trading or individual stocks is also reasonable. Not very rational, but it's reasonable. And another example that we're going to look at is the forecast. The forecasts about the market, about the economy. So I don't know if you guys have realized, like most of the forecasts that come your way related to economy and the market, most of them are terrible, right? They rarely have like some good or positive content in them, right? But the thing is, even those forecasts are reasonable. They're reasonable in the sense that it's better to have some sort of forecast, some sort of an idea what's going to happen tomorrow, or in the next week, or in the next year, or in the coming months, than to not have any idea what's going to happen. So, to not have any idea at all altogether, it's a bit more scary for people than having a negative forecast. So having a forecast in this case is a bit more reasonable. So these were all the examples that I wanted to talk about in this second part of the video, and hopefully you could this will probably enable you to see, okay, this decision that I'm trying to make seems rational, but is it reasonable as well? So maybe it will help you with that, to find a good reason in whatever you do. So that's it for this video. Hopefully you learned something, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.